Today's video, how to rest like a German.
We are Lisa and Greg, an American couple living abroad in Spain. If you're curious about the crazy, funny, and surprising differences between the US and Europe, you came to the right place. We are creeping towards 10,000 subscribers, so go ahead and hit the subscribe button and be like everybody else. All right. Okay. This is the Brit in Germany. Lisa will definitely include a link in the description so you can go and show him some love.
Yes, we have done another one of his videos, and he's just really good.
He's real chill.
He's real chill. He's not from Germany, so it's kind of a
different perspective. Yes.
From a British person.
You okay?
I think you need to play the video.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
It turns out that the importance of rest differs not only between cultures, but also between generations. Since entering into my 30s.
And this is an issue for me because I don't sleep.
Yeah, that's true. And our boys are always bugging him about how little he sleeps.
Yeah, I mean, I sleep like 5-6 hours.
Yeah, but
Maybe.
And the only way to get you to get more sleep is to go to bed earlier,
right?
Because you can't
you
can't wake up later.
Yeah.
And he gets on his phone. What? I'm telling on you.
My idea of what rest even means has changed quite a bit. I spent much of my 20s worrying that I was not studying or working hard enough. I treated myself with an iron fist, and I was incredibly self-disciplined, but I've now learned that brute force and discipline are just really no match for a willingness and a love of doing. Now, some of you might be more inclined to associate Germany with ironclad discipline than with rest, but I think that's probably because you and I have different understandings of what rest actually means.
Mm.
Did you have an opinion on what you thought Germans would? I don't know if I ever have.
I don't think I had an opinion on how they were.
Like,
whether they were like, I would have said that they were hard workers because of their education system being so good. So I would not have characterized them as resters, like Spain, like how it's about enjoying life. Yeah,
that's true.
So before we continue, I should probably let you know how I understand the term rest, because I do not understand it by its dictionary definition, which is often something like freedom from labor or to be in a state of motionlessness. That is actually the polar opposite of how I understand the term rest. You know, some people might call it active rest, but I really just use this term interchangeably with recharge. If you think about a battery that is empty, it is currently being recharged, being refilled with energy. And I think this is where the confusion comes in, because for some people, laying on the couch watching a film or watching a series could be a way of recharging. Whereas for other people, you know, an intense physical workout could be their form of recharging and re-energizing, or even things like taking a cold shower, or going for a walk, or having a conversation with friends. You know, we are all.
Yeah, I think we find we rest from doing like all this kind of work or whatever by going for a walk.
Yeah.
Or
going to the coffee shop.
Sitting at the coffee shop and, you know, having coffee or, you know, hiking in nature for me is huge. That's a rest.
Right.
Yeah. Different. And the fact that we all have different ideas of what rest is or what rest should be is something that I've become very aware of since living in Germany. You know, living in a foreign country is very powerful because it, for one thing, makes you challenge your own preconceived ideas, beliefs, and values. And so this is my manual of how to rest like a German.
Okay.
One thing that really stuck with me is a sentence which my first manager here in Germany repeated very often. I was working in a company that had quite a few colleagues from overseas, and they always wanted to save up their holidays and take all of their holidays in one block so they could fly home and be with their families for 4 to 6 weeks. This meant that they would work pretty much almost 11 months straight without taking a break. And the sentence that my manager would often repeat is, das ist nicht Sinn und Zweck. Like, that is not the idea of holidays. Obviously, from a business perspective, it's not ideal to have staff missing for 4 to 6 weeks. But I do also think there is more of a human element to this idea that you should be taking strategic, regular breaks. If we think about the analogy of the battery again, if your energy levels are depleted, there is only so much time you can keep going on reserve energy before you just completely run out and shut down. I think we all know that one person who is really sort of trying to hold everything together at work. They have this idea in their head that if they're not there, everything will crumble to the ground and the company will fail. And when they do eventually, finally take that break, they get sick immediately.
Oh my God, that was always me. I felt like every time we went on any kind of vacation or even staycation and just stayed at home or whatever, I was sick. Isn't that interesting?
Why don't I remember that?
I don't know. Yeah. I remember because it was always like one of the worst kinds. It was like strep throat. It was, I remember, you know why I remember? Because my Facebook memories come up. Oh. And then I talk about how I'm sick on vacation. You know? Okay. So that's interesting.
Yeah. But a 2-week break can work wonders for my energy levels, and I can come back to work feeling really refreshed and ready to go. So the first step to resting like a German is to take strategic breaks, ideally every 3 to 4 months. This way I manage to stay mentally sharp.
Smart.
And I avoid getting frustrated or getting negative by things that happen at work because they just don't have the time to build up into a big thing. Now, if you're in your 20s, you might not resonate with this. I know that I certainly was thinking very differently about rest in my 20s, but now sort of getting into the tail end of my 30s, I really do appreciate and see the value of rest.
Yeah, I don't think I saw the value of rest until I was in my 40s. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Let me see. I think I would probably say.
I think our generation.
I don't think for me, I didn't see the value of it until we visited here at the beginning of last year.
See.
Then that was the first time, which was like in 2023, when I was like, oh wow. Actually, it wasn't the beginning of last year, beginning of the year before. That's the first time I realized that. Dang, and that's why when I went back, I just had a hard time getting going because I just always wanted to go to the coffee shop. I always wanted to relax.
I know.
It changed my life, really.
Right. So, we were so Americanized.
Yeah.
And we're seeing so much of Europe is just complete opposite. It's interesting.
Yeah. And it's better for us.
It's better. It's better for us. Humans.
I think so. Yes. That's my opinion too. Active rest. Okay. This is going to be a good one.
So it is not only important to take breaks, it's very important what you actually do with those breaks. And studies have shown that active rest is generally very much more effective in repleting energy levels. And so often it is more tiring to lie on the couch and do nothing than it is to perhaps go for a walk or to meet some friends or to travel somewhere. And this is something which the Germans do seem to understand on a very deep level. And obviously, it depends where you are in Germany. The activities vary, but just go to like any sort of historic touristy town and you will see loads of people out on their bikes or in their hiking gear, especially the older generation. People in their 50s and 60s seem to be quite active here. Yeah. The mind and body are inextricably linked. And so if you're feeling mentally exhausted, one of the best things you can do is to do something that's physically active. And
that's what I used to do when I worked at the gym. I'd be tired, not enough, and I need to work out.
Yeah.
And so I would just go work out.
Yeah, because most of your friends were like, what? When you're tired, like, you don't want to work out.
Sit down and relax. I'm like, no, I need to work out.
It's like a mental break.
Yeah, get my energy back.
Put your physical body to work.
Yeah.
And let your mind go.
Right.
It doesn't have to be CrossFit. It doesn't have to be a HIIT intense workout. It can be some light exercise, like going for a walk or going for a bike ride. This is a culture which is very strong, not just in Germany, but in quite a few European countries. The Dutch are, I think, world renowned for their cycling culture. And then, of course, you have the Austrians and the Swiss who are masters of the mountainous hiking trails. As you may have heard, you are entitled to paid sick leave in Germany.
Right.
And I don't know exactly where this culture comes from, but there is a deeply ingrained culture in Germany of going to the doctor very regularly, whether you have a problem or not. Now, this could be because healthcare is not free. You know, the fees for healthcare are deducted automatically from your salary. You don't even see that money. And so it could be the mentality of, you know, I've paid for this already. I need to get my money's worth. Contrary to the UK, continuing to work when you are sick is not seen as a badge of honor. So if you do go into work when you are sick in Germany, most likely you will be sent home to rest and recover, as this is seen as very important.
Oh my God, we did that. I did that all the time, and I saw it as a badge of honor.
You went in sick?
I went in sick.
Yeah, I never took sick days.
No, we never took sick days.
It was weird with me, though. I always only got sick on the weekends. I remember.
Well, that's what that there's something there, because I only got sick when we went on vacation.
That's true. That's true. I didn't even think about that. That's weird.
That is weird.
Yeah.
One more thing that you will have to embrace if you want to rest like a German is extended periods of time in nature.
These are all really good.
Oh, I love that.
And they're all just about chilling out and enjoying life, which is great.
There is something very therapeutic, very relaxing and calming about, you know, walking into a forest, the smell of decaying leaves, the rustle of the wind through the leaves. It's just quite relaxing and calming, and it's a very different environment to the environment that most of us live in. One thing I do remember during the lockdown is that there were a lot of articles on the BBC and other newspapers in the UK crowing about the term Waldbad, you know, forest bathing, this amazing new technique that Germans and I think also other Europeans had invented. I don't think we need to overcomplicate things and sort of, you know, brand everything with gimmicky marketing terms. It's really not that complicated. Just go for a walk in the woods. And I think another crucial aspect of rest is alone time. Now, obviously, this is a little personality specific, but I think it's important for everyone just to take the time to reflect a little bit, to think about life and think about the way things are going, and if everything is sort of okay. One thing I have noticed for myself is that just having that alone time, taking a few minutes to reflect and to think about things, really also has a very calming, relaxing effect. And I can feel my body physically, you know, relaxing. I believe that rest is crucially important to the human experience. I do believe that rest is not something we should be doing once a year. It is something we should be doing every day, every week, every month, in different intensities and different variations. It's not about doing nothing. Rest is really about listening to yourself, really understanding your needs and priming yourself for optimal cognitive function so that you can really get the most of life.
I love that he learned that because he moved to Germany.
Right. Yeah.
And, you know, dare I say the UK and the United States are similar as far as their work ethic, and there's some similarities. I know people in the UK don't want to admit it, but there are some similarities
between the
United Kingdom and the
work
United
ethic?
States. Work ethic is probably one of them. Where it is, and he's kind of saying, you know, he just went, and when he went to Germany, he finally learned that there was another way.
Well, I mean, we've had people from the UK tell us that there were some similarities, so we're not just making that up. So.
Yeah.
But we've also had people from the UK say that there weren't.
Yeah.
So
and I don't blame you. You don't want the similarities. Of what's happening over there right now.
Right. That's true.
Yeah. Oh.
So that's it from me. If you found this helpful, do consider sticking around. And if you have any other ideas, please do let me know in the comments below. I would be very interested to hear your thoughts.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, we see it here in Spain because he's saying a lot of other European countries, and that is true. People just chill.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, it's great.
Yeah, it's great. Like during that blackout, nobody panicked because this is normal. You're just going to go out and chill outside.
And help each other. So that's another video. All right. So let's see what we got here. So it's so crazy that this channel, this might mean you, is philosophical. A really deep conversation with a cool daily life attitude. I definitely appreciate your effort on this channel. Thanks for all. Aw, that's super nice. To keep Sunday as a rest day is an important aspect. Have a restful Sunday. Mm-hmm. All right, last one here. It took me some minutes to realize you were in Bamberg. A very nice city to rest in, either passive or active. All right. Well, that was a great video, Brit in Germany. Thank you very much for that. And as always, thank you for stopping by, and we will see you on the next video.
Bye.
Peace.